Hello.
We're playing Inquisition because Dad is coming out. And I'm very excited. And now suddenly, we have desktop sound. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna turn this master volume down a bit. And see a good sound check. Yes, confirm changes. And I'm also gonna turn you up really high in Discord. Wabam! Okay. So, hello, I'm Len. I'm the executive director of Hand-Eye Society, and we are hanging out to play Dragon Age Inquisition, and with me is Kit.
Me, I'm Kit. I have strong opinions about this video game.
So I guess we need to decide what type of run this is going to be. I would like this to be a run that we go into Dragon Age Dreadwolf with, so I'm gonna make choices based around that. Kit is extremely Dragon Age knowledged.
I edit the wiki. That is not an exaggeration.
Okay, so what we must decide is romancing Egg Boy or no Egg Boy. And I'm gonna say we must romance Egg Boy because I want a save to go into Dad with that. Which I guess also, like, general statement, we will be spoilering things.
Yes.
Which, okay. I have never played a mage. So, we're gonna do that.
So yes.
We're
Good.
going full into, we're romancing Solus, and I'm playing this on casual. So.
The stream is very zoomed in, but
Oh, so it is. Why are you so zoomed in? Now you're not so zoomed in. Hello. Okay, let's try and fix that if I do this. Okay, so instead of that, we are going to do this. Display capture. Haha! You want to import a custom world state from Dragon Age Keep? Yeah, sure. Import successful. Who knows what what my custom world state is, but we're going with it.
well, we're all gonna find out together.
It probably means Alistair is king.
Really?
Yeah, because my warden survived, romanced Alistair, but made him king and kept him as her side thing.
Okay. All right.
Ooh.
Wow. My warden didn't do any of those things.
Your warden died canonically, right?
Yeah, my canon warden died because I started the game and I was like, oh yeah, gonna like romance the cute rogue lady. And I was totally gonna do that. And then Alistair was like, we're the only ones left. And I was like, oh, that's actually a way more powerful storyline, fuck. Sorry, is it cool if I swear on stream? I don't know. Anyway.
Expletive.
Expletive. It was a way better storyline. However, at the end of Origins, Morgan was like, hey, here's a way you could survive. And I was like, okay, I like not being dead. I think. I'm actually a little unsure about that, to be honest. It's been a real weird year for me. as a stressed Dalish elf. But okay, cool. So I went to Alistair and I was like, Morgan says if you do this thing, we get to both not die. And Alistair was like, no, I can't believe you would ask me to do that. That sounds like bad magic stuff. And I was like, well, I mean, I'm not gonna force you, because that's
I
not cool. That is not consensual. So, I mean, I can't do it myself. So, okay. Uh, well, I mean, you're right. Maybe it is shady. So we didn't do it.
I imagine
And
my
then I
warden.
died. And then I was like, sorry, Alistair, you just have to live without me now. That's your problem because you were the one who was like, mm-mm.
I like to imagine my warden like kicking down the door and being like, Alistair, get in there! I survive at any cost. So if there's one thing that I have learned, it is never touch the complexion slider for Inquisition.
Valid. My approach to that. So we were talking about this before. This create character creation screen has real weird lighting.
Yeah.
It has green lighting, which just does weird things to colors, because that is not the primary color that most oxygen breathing creatures are comprised of. We
So
actually have a lot of the opposite because we do this thing with the oxygen and the blood. And it's pink.
I just hope I can help.
So I'm assuming you know exactly which slider is neon green eyes.
It's not any of the sliders. You're gonna skip the if you want to do the rift eyes thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna leave the eye color, whatever. Doesn't matter what it is because you're just gonna change it in a later entry.
Okay. You have creme hair.
As long as the job gets done, I
Cool.
don't care about the rest.
Krem is the best character in Dragon Age.
It's
All
true.
games, full stop.
I've never played with the American voice, so I'm gonna go with the American voice. Eyes.
Cool. I actually quite like the American voice. So I can only see your screen in stream time, so I'm gonna be a little bit behind you. Just heads
I think
up.
I found this.
Yes. So wait, first, yeah, you're gonna set it all the way max saturation. And then I usually do the outer one kind of just on the cyan end of green, and then the inner one like just on the green edge of yellow. But
feel like
you can kind of mix and match.
I think the only thing that I actually care about doing, because this is full on, we're romancing the egg, this is it.
Oh yeah.
Is full mythal face.
Honestly, I feel like the more intensive tattoos just look better. Almost across the board. I'm a little lukewarm about the half of your face is completely dyed one. Just because it does weird things with the hairline. And I just feel like
this is something
if you were gonna commit to tattooing the entire left side of your face, you might as well commit to it going all the way up to your hairline. I'm just saying.
Fair enough. This
like
is
it's not gonna get that much more painful the last 3 millimeters.
That I do not like about this is that like, so here's like green and you're like, okay, still pretty green, still pretty green. You have like the tiniest amount of space
Realistic
here?
Dark color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's good enough.
It's definitely a little easier with the controller because you can kind of like tap it in, but yeah, for those of you who missed that, we were having trouble getting the controllers to play nice with each other, which is rude, but here we are. We're gonna work with it.
I don't get any scars?
Yeah, you are having skin texture errors.
Yay!
So this happens to me all the time now. This is a consequence of the game being 8 years old. Just set it all the way to the left,
Bye.
and then if you go and look at it in... Ooh, new places, nice. Bye. Yeah, if you set it all the way to 0 for now, and then go look at it in the Black Emporium,
It'll-
should load properly there.
Okay.
And the same thing will happen with the complexions and a couple of other things that like they just don't render properly in this loading screen sometimes. I don't know why. It's not even installation dependent. It's like save file by save file. I don't know why. Also, I discovered not that long ago that the thing that I have where certain background NPCs have shifting skin tones is a glitch. That like Lady Corpin is a random dwarf who comes and makes a somewhat shady lyrium deal with Josephine at one point, and she was just a black dwarf for me for years. That's apparently not canon. Also, Clarel was just a black lady for me for several years. That's also apparently a glitch. I was really sad about that, because her character design actually just looked better to me that way. But anyway,
I feel like
how
you're
do you do
playing
that?
the good version of Dragon Age. Okay, I feel like I have. Wait, Adam's apple. I'm so okay. There's one thing that I'm super excited for, and that is I believe that we are gonna get non-binary characters for.
Yeah, I think it's basically like I don't think Patrick Weeks is actually capable of releasing a game that does not have non-binary options anymore.
Yeah.
I think like
Thanks,
the
Patrick.
dead would walk amongst us first.
All right, I'm gonna do what I always do whenever I name a character, which is smash a keyboard with my eyes closed. That
Nice.
wasn't a good one. Okay, we're gonna. That's where we're starting. No. We need a vowel. Oh, okay, see? Cowoage. That's your name. This is how I name all characters in video games.
Most of my save files are either named half a sentence or like whatever gameplay challenge I've set for myself. I should clarify. I play this game on casual most of the time. That's like my happy space. I'm not a game challenge person. I am in it for the writing. But I've put like over 1,000 hours into this video game now, and I feel like I should be able to play it on medium.
I checked my Origin, which I haven't played this on PC since 2017 when I played all of the Dragon Age games back to back, and I had 334 hours. But I
And
also, when I
in
did
all three put together, or just an Inquisition?
just an Inquisition,
Makes sense.
I also cheated by downloading a polyamorous mod, so I dated all of the characters in 2 runs because that's how I wanted to receive my content. Stop that.
I have a different canon Inquisitor in my head for each of the romances I have done. I have never successfully romanced Sarah because I cannot with the
Oh, it's-
internalized racism,
it's
and it
really
is
bad.
too long a game with that. For me personally, Sarah's internalized racism is too much, and I cannot. Oh yeah, that's right. That was what the Grimes one was for.
The Grimes one?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
What's the good?
So, worst world state, where she looks like Grimes. This was in the before times.
The before times.
I just thought about that just now, and I was like, oh yeah.
I can't. Okay. I'm sorry, I can't believe that Grimes got her entire body scarified to look like aliens abducted her. Click and select a response on the dialogue wheel. Or quick select. What type of Inquisitor are you? You are, I'm gonna say, quite Dalish, and you do not trust this random human who's talking to you, because why would you?
Explain.
That's real.
I can't.
What do you mean you can't?
I don't know what that is, or how it got there.
You're lying.
We need
So I'm gonna introduce you to my very first Dragon Age ship, which is an essential component of the franchise. My first Dragon Age ship was Cassandra and Liliana. I was absolutely
Whatever you think I
convinced
did, I'm
that they were a
innocent.
couple
Do you remember
for
what
like
happened?
2 years.
I can
I
see
was
that.
so mad
I
when I
feel like
finally finished the game, and I was like, "Ah."
Chasing me, and then
I went back and I played Origins, and I was like, "Oh, you're actually not a couple. Wait, she's
after
straight?
me.
No."
But then
I feel like Cassandra's very much in like, so I played through all of Mass Effect Legendary in 2021 when it came out. I feel like BioWare did a similar thing with Jack where they were like,
what did happen?
let's make an intense lady character. Of course only men would want to sleep with her. And you're like,
Will be easier to show you.
I want to double check your
authorial
map there.
intent is fine, but also.
Yeah. I mean, my understanding is that with both of those characters, the decision around their sexual preferences was essentially making her lesbian would be too stereotypical. That's my understanding. Is
That's
that they
fair.
wrote both of those characters and they looked at them and they were like, this character can't be a lesbian. That is too many stereotypes in one person. No.
An explosion can do that?
This one.
I don't know that I agree with that
Yeah.
choice.
I also,
I mean, okay, I'm gonna be real. I don't agree with that choice, personally. However, I have never installed a mod to change it.
oh yeah, no, that
I
feels
just-
weird.
I just live with my sadness in private.
Your mark spreads,
Um,
and it is
I don't
Also-
necessarily have a lot of strong opinions about the
but there is
By
no
Cassandra
time.
mod specifically.
Mm.
I definitely understand where that one's coming from. And in light of certain actors' opinions, I have really come around from being neutral on the Cullen By mod to being like, yeah, you know what? Even if you're not going to use it, you should install the By Cullen mod just as like a personal insult.
Alright, which one of these will make Cassandra like me?
Do you want me to tell you that?
Yeah.
Okay, then you want number 1.
I understand.
The last time that I played, I was like, Cassandra, I'm
Do what I
not
can. Whatever it
helping.
takes.
And then she was like, I'm not really into that. I'm like, you kidnapped me. I
Yeah.
get that, like, stuff is going on, but also you kidnapped me.
I mean, that's real. And I feel like that would be a really valid, like, emotional response to the situation. You're like, excuse me, I am a Dalish elf, and you are literally the face of my oppressors.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna need you to get fucked. Actually. I'm sorry, I swore on stream again.
It's okay.
This game makes me swear a lot. I'm sorry, I didn't really think about that. That's not true. The chantry makes me swear a lot. Not
Okay,
the
I
same thing.
wanna. No, I. Okay. Did I just somehow make subtitles appear because I pressed a button? I want to turn on subtitles because we're talking over the dialogue a lot. Because I assume most people who are playing Dragon Age at this
Where are
point
you taking me?
are either replaying it like we are so that we can get that like fresh content.
Your mark must be tested on some.
So, options, audio.
Looks like you have at least dialogue subtitles already on. I usually put dialogue and ambient.
Yeah.
So Conversations only. Yeah, conversations in the ambient. Partly because some of the most interesting dialogue content in this game is ambient party banter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you've played this game once or maybe twice, there's probably going to be a lot of like critical path dialogue you haven't necessarily heard because you only did this quest once, or the one time that you did it, like you had a meeting and you were in a rush and you skipped some of the dialogue at the end, there might be some new stuff in there. But like, if you play this game or watch someone play this game more than twice, most of the interesting content that you're going to find now that you're going to be like, whoa, I never thought about that, or I never heard that line before. Is that a real thing? Is going to be in the ambient dialogue. That's where all
Yeah.
the good. That's where all the good stuff is. I almost swore again, but I didn't.
I think, like, one of the things that I know is both, like, you want people to play your game for as long as possible. That's, like, generally the idea of a large narrative game. But there's so much party banter that I feel like you just don't see.
I'm gonna look it up right now. So there's somebody on YouTube has made these very lovely composition videos of all party banter between all possible party members for all 3 games. Okay, so the party banter complete for Dragon Age Inquisition is 5 hours and 35 minutes.
I definitely have listened to that multiple times. Press R or
Me
click
too.
attack. Clicky click. Ooh, I don't like being a mage.
Okay. So for Dragon Age Origins, the party banter between all characters is 3 hours and 40 minutes. And then party banter for Dragon Age 2 is 2 hours. Now those do not include the major DLCs, so like Jaws of Hakon, or The Descent, or Awakening. Those are separate. Now Awakening obviously separate, it's a different party entirely. Actually, that's a good question. Is Shill? Yeah, Shill's on the. Yeah,
Yeah.
Shill and Sebastian are both in the main party because they are technically also DLC, but they're like not DLC. It's like a different thing.
I have never played through Awakening. I like own it, though I
I
don't
also
anymore
own it.
because I lost the PS3 that I had in a tragic accident. But I remember, okay, so like the very first thing,
so ominous.
it does. Like the very first thing that happens is like you get that guy and he's like in jail. How do I loot? Loot? Oh, okay. Figured it out. Please take all. And I was playing it, and then it turned out that the person that you save, if you did the City Elf Dalish origin female, is the person who kidnaps your friend. And I was like, I don't know who this is. I'll like save them. And then I learned that, and I was like, I can't play this game now. And that's why I never played Awakening.
Hang on. I think I know which character. So I've also never played it, but I think I know who you're talking about.
One. Yeah, I've never played this with keyboard, so we're gonna see how this goes. Whee! Oh, that hurt me. I guess fair enough. God, where's my little hand? Why is the cursor so tiny? Alright, this is why we're playing on a casual difficulty,
Because that's the enjoyable way to experience Dragon Age?
yeah.
Honestly, it is.
Boom! Alright, come on, Cassandra. Let's go find our friends. Your friends, currently not my friends.
Ah! They're falling from the breach!
Leave me be, I'm soft. I am but a mage. Okay, so this staff that you get, every single time I look at it, all I can think about is a Dyson fan. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. It's because look at that hole in it. It looks like a Dyson fan. Very specific.
I mean, like, I can see how you get there. I definitely spend way too much time thinking about, like, why the design of staffs is the way that it is. Like, what purpose does this serve? Why is it pointy? Like, how does that improve its usefulness?
We're getting close to the rift. You
You
can
know,
hear the
just-
fighting.
Intimidation.
Yeah.
Must help them.
Sometimes you need to smack someone in
Valid.
the face with a mage staff.
You know, and like, and accessorizing is also just like a valid reason.
Shocky boom. Barrack.
Quickly! Before more come through!
Hello chest hair, featuring Barrick.
What did you do?
I did nothing.
I am casually covered in a lot of blood.
Yeah, I always turn blood off in this game. I just find it really distracting,
That's fair.
mostly.
This.
Whatever magic opened the breach in the sky also placed that mark upon your hand. I theorize
I,
the
like,
mark
don't
may be
know
what
if I've
caused
ever
the
watched
rifts
this
that
with
opened in the breach's wake. And
blood
it
on.
seems I was correct.
I feel like-
Could also close the breach
No?
itself.
Possibly.
Oh, weird. Cassandra, your blood is symmetrical like a Rorschach.
Good to know. Here I thought we'd be
Egg.
ashes and demons forever.
Egg.
Varric Tethras.
So scramble it.
Storyteller.
Scramble that egg.
Wait, is all of their blood Rorschach? Oh my god! What do you see?
I see a sudden uptick in the wages that you pay your laundry employees.
Which one of these will make Varric like me?
Varric doesn't care.
Alright. Nice to meet
If you ask,
Good to meet you, Varric.
You may reconsider that stance in time.
if you inquire,
Become great friends in the
you get like a +1 from Solus. A regular approval is a +20. A greatly approves is a +50. Hang on, I'm not sure if I've got that right actually. I'm just gonna look that up real quick.
Okay. Well,
Um,
you're doing
But
that. I will take my
name is
meds.
Solus,
Hi,
Nice.
Solus.
oh, I should do that too. Haha.
He means
Med break.
that mark from killing you while you slept.
Snacks.
Solus, you know about my mark?
You seem to know a great deal about it all.
Like you, Solus is an apostate.
Technically, all mages are now apostates, Cassandra. My travels have allowed me to learn much
Approval,
about the
Inquisition.
far beyond
That
the
is what I
boundaries
wanted
of
to
a
look at.
circle mage.
Approval values. Okay, so a slightly approves or slightly disapproves is 1 point, and approves is 5 points, and a greatly approves or greatly disapproves is 20 points. I did have that wrong, but I've
Yeah,
now.
that would be a lot of points.
I mean, like I generally the key is the ratios.
Mm.
That like a slightly
Once this is over.
is not worth that much. And approves, that's okay. A greatly approves, however, makes a pretty big difference. So
Yeah, I feel like sometimes I'm like, I know you're going to slightly disapprove this, but sorry.
We must get to the forward camp quickly.
yeah. I used to have like a much stronger grasp on the like numerical
The
values of
min-maxing.
approval and disapproval, because for a while I was like really trying to get that achievement where you finish the game with all party members with the double
Maximum.
disapproval turned on.
Mmm.
So it's one of the trials. So when you download Trespasser, you also get the trials, which are like some bonus difficulty modes, and most of them are like, you know, make all enemies be at least your level. Like if their default level is higher than yours, then they'll stay their default level. But if their default level is lower than yours, then they'll be leveled to at least where you are. So, you're never gonna like wander into an area and be like, oh, apparently I was supposed to do this 3 chapters ago because everything is just falling over because I walked near it. Okay. It removes that. So if you are, for example, totally not talking about anybody in particular here, but if you're a person who maybe needs to finish every quest on the map before you can go to the final mission, because if you don't, then you're a bad leader and everyone will die. That's definitely not a problem that I personally have.
No, not at all.
No, not at all. But anyway, if you do that, you are going to be like wicked over leveled by the time you get to the end. So that is a really handy little feature, because otherwise it gets real boring near the end. Not a lot of fun anymore.
Any loot.
One of the trials does a thing where approval levels are the same, but disapprovals they're not doubled, they're upped 1 magnitude. So every slightly disapproves becomes a disapproves, and every disapproves becomes a greatly disapproves. And every greatly disapproves becomes minus 50. So for context, a greatly disapproves in that game mode is minus 50 approval from neutral, which is 0, that's your starting point, to the approval level where characters will leave not all characters will leave you, but some characters will leave if they hate you enough. That point where they hate you enough that they will leave is minus 75. So that's 1 greatly disapproves and 1 disapproves. It is. So your biggest problem is Sarah, basically. Yeah. Your problem is Sarah, and the main way that people do it to get that achievement is basically that you just never talk to her again. you recruit her.
So a regular game.
You just leave her in the tavern and you never speak to her. Because you cannot keep a high enough approval level with Dorian or Cole if you do not recruit the mages as allies. And that act in and of itself is enough disapproval to force Sarah to leave. So, and you don't unlock any of her personal quests at that point. So it is almost impossible to have accrued enough approval with her prior to that she will not leave the second you speak to her.
So she's just basically like a never again party member?
Well, you can bring her with you, but you can never engage her in a cutscene dialogue.
What do
anyway, I have never made it through a playthrough in that mode because it makes me sad when certain characters are not warm and fuzzy to me. It makes me feel bad. And
Open the gate.
Wait, who?
We're clear for the
It's
moment.
it's not a fun time.
Thing on your hand?
I don't find it fun. Put it mildly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah. So I have never finished the game in that game mode. But I have tried it a number of times, which is why I
Here they come.
know the approval
You made
numbers.
it. It did.
And also I know the approval of most dialogue options because of that.
So, does it actually matter if I take the pass or if I take the soldiers?
Um so it's more a choice of like how you um like identify yourself, what
Mm.
kind of character you're
We serve
writing,
the most holy
I guess.
Chancellor, as you
Um
well know.
Justinia is
like
We must elect a replacement and obey her orders on the matter.
Okay.
yeah, like I would call it like a decision between the Liliana and the Cullen approach to a fighting situation.
Mm.
You know, but like Cullen's like, it's okay, we got a big army, we're just gonna show up, we're gonna take up a lot of space. We got fancy banners, we got some trumpet players over here, and we got a huge battering ram. And that'll solve our problem, you know, and Liliana's like, well,
Position here is
I think if we go around the back at night, I think we can get the water bridge gate
can
thing
stab.
open, you know, and then we can get in. We'll have to go up through the well, but we can do that. And then we can steal the keys, you know, and you're like, net result either way is that you take the castle, but
Abandon this now, before more
you get different kinds of body counts and stuff,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, I
The
think I
costs are different.
basically always played a character who's like, we have to take the pass. Like, why would we just throw people at a door?
Do you think we should proceed?
Also, the pass is more fun.
you have
Mm.
You get more experience,
You are the one
and
who
you
has
get
to
more options to get crafting materials early on in the game. Which, if you're into crafting, always take the pass, because you get like one thing to loot if you do the charge with the soldiers option,
Mm.
whereas you got like a whole mini dungeon
bring
if you take the
everyone
pass.
left
I
Also, Sandra says she slightly disapproves now, but you get further up the mountain and you're gonna save some people to work for her, and she's be like, okay, you're right. Glad we went this way, because
I also like that Varric was like, did you just tell Cassandra off? Yep.
well,
He approves. I think it's funny.
yeah, like what he approves of mostly is that you are looking out for the little guy.
Hmm.
He's a big fan of that.
Why is this cursor so obnoxiously tiny?
Because of your resolution.
Hmm.
Not that that's an excuse, but it is an explanation.
It's like the tiniest little hand.
The tunnel
They are
should be
smaller
just
than my
ahead.
on-screen
The path to the temple
hands.
lies just beyond it.
What manner of tunnel is this? A mine?
Part of an old mining complex. These mountains are full of such paths.
And your missing soldiers are in there somewhere?
Along with whatever has detained them.
We shall see soon enough.
We shall. Man, I'm so glad that I'm not climbing up a bunch of ladders in the cold.
I mean, that's real.
Hey, do you folks mind? Yes, please. Thank you, Cassandra. I am very soft, and we're all ranged except for you.
I am little, and this guy over here keeps trying to breathe fire on me, and I don't like it.
This person has knives for hands, and I usually stand about 80 feet away from battle. So, you know, if you who could very casually turn yourself into literally a piece of iron.
There's nothing over there unless you got a drop from the dude.
Mm.
Green ones.
Also, okay.
Hello.
Hello! You might know what is going on with this cave. Why does this cave glow?
So mostly it doesn't.
Is it
It just
meant to be the
has
ice?
yeah, basically. This is it's just icy light. That's the oh, you should go in there with the
This way?
back. No, back. You already ran past it. There's a little room on that hallway that you ran through on what is now your left. Keep going over the bridge. There you go. That room. There's some stuff in there.
Take it off.
I know all of the places where all of the things are, but I will not drag you all the way up the hill to find the random 50 coins, because that's probably not a useful amount of coins for you.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it's like a full minute out of your way. But I do know where it is because I have done this too many times. So many times. Actually, probably more than 100 times. I've played this intro.
Really? Oh, the intro. Okay, I was like, the game?
No, I think I've only finished. I finished the whole game, including Trespasser, 5 times. I've finished the whole game up until Trespasser, maybe more like 8 or 9 times. Sometimes you get to the end of the game and you know how Trespasser goes, and you look at the choices that you've made over the course of this game, and you're like, actually, I don't think I wanna. Nope. Don't want a reckoning for this.
I feel like Swiss Cheese says that they haven't played the opening since the game came out. I feel like this is a fairly solid game opening.
Yeah. I was watching
It's my tiny hand.
I was watching Mark Dara talk about the game opening of Dragon Age 2 compared to Dragon Age Origins in terms of like world introduction and gameplay introduction and stuff like that, like how they sort of what they changed between Origins and DA2, because of course Origins, one of the things that they learned with Origins is that if you create a gimmick for your game that requires you to make 6 separate tutorials for your game, that's not a real fun time. Actually, and it's a lot of extra work and a lot of troubleshooting. So, you know, cute once, but like maybe don't make that a thing you have to do every single time you make a new game. So when they made Origins, when they made Dragon Age 2, they like
there's like
swung a lot of
basically
stuff
only
too far in the other direction.
yeah, there's basically only like 2 things that you do in the opening of Dragon Age 2, which is like, do you have a brother or a sister?
One of the interesting things about the introduction of Dragon Age 2 is because they use that sort of Varric framing device where he's like telling you the story, but he's kind of making it up a little bit. He's exaggerating. They let you play the first fight with a bunch of like level 6, level 7 abilities. So you get a sense of the stuff that you'll have access to later that you don't have access to yet, which I think is kind of fun, actually. And then Cassandra's like, I'm pretty sure you're lying to me, and Varric's like, ugh, fine. You're so annoying.
62 damage. I would replay Dragon Age 2. I only played through it once, and I still wholeheartedly am upset with that playthrough.
That is real. A lot of people's first Dragon Age 2 playthrough. I mean, my first Dragon Age 2 playthrough, listen, it did not end better for my Hawk than it did for my Warden. So, I guess it technically Arguably, I don't know. I'm not sure that Hawk would consider it to be better that she's not the one that died at the end.
Say a woman
Yeah, that's fair.
no one knows what she
You
wants.
know, the Warden's like, well, I die at the end. That's fine, actually. I spent the last year of my life being like, you know, I guess this is just it. I'm gonna die for the cause. I guess that's okay. One of the things about playing the Dalish Warden is that, unlike all of the other Wardens in Origins, as a Dalish Warden, if you didn't become a Warden, you were in fact going to die.
Yeah.
Like, all of them have, like, you know, you, like, got a death sentence, or you're, like, running away from someone who's definitely gonna kill you, or whatever. And so, like, you could have maybe died, but, like, you could hypothetically still, at that situation, have run away and lived a different life. But your Dalish Origin Warden is already infected. And becoming a Warden is actually the only way you can survive.
You're here.
Yeah. I feel like
Mediana, have your
with
men.
2,
Yeah, that's real.
Around the
Dragon Age 2 is a rough time.
yeah. So many people left me, and somehow I ended up with Meryl, which was not my choice. She just started living in
Oh.
my house, and I was like, what?
See,
and Meryl
I had
was like,
that with Anders. I was like, bro, we kissed one time. And he was like, yeah, no, we live here now.
yeah, I was trying to romance Fenris, and then Fenris was like, no, this is not for me. And then Act 3 started, and Meryl was just like, hi, my love. And I was like, what? Where did you come from?
I'll try.
I mean, that is like peak Meryl, though.
It is peak Meryl.
No. This rift was the first, and it is the key.
I
I have a
also,
lot of feelings about Meryl, and not a lot of them are pleasant.
Then let's find a
I
way.
feel like Meryl is a character that if I had been like 15 when I played Dragon Age, I would maybe have more sympathy for, but I played it instead when I was 26, and I was like,
What are we hearing?
I don't like your style of
Yeah.
being.
I'm like really not into that lack of accountability thing that you're doing right now.
Mhm.
Also, yeah, that was definitely that was 100% what happened with me and Fenris the first time I played that game. I was like, Anders was like, hey, we're like oppressed because we're both mages, and like, what are you doing?
Oh, this is the problem. This is the problem of having the tiny cursor. Yeah, I feel like Fenris is also someone that if I was 15 years old, I would still have like a bunch of other feelings about. But those carried on over into adulthood in a way that my feelings about Meryl would never.
That's real. I mean, my thing with Fenris basically is just like Gideon Emery is an amazing voice actor, part one. And part two, when you meet him, he is literally extracting the heart from a slaver.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, what? I have a real hard time arguing with that. This asshole's over here like, yeah, I'm just gonna, you know, wantonly enslave people of a different race than me, because that's like a fun Friday activity. And Fenris is like, I'm gonna murder you, and I'm like, you know
A
what?
fun
Yes,
Friday
I'm into that.
activity.
Let's, yeah, murder all of them. Frankly, every single one. Just no more slavers. I'm really having a hard time coming up with a downside to that.
And then sealed properly and safely. However,
Oh no, now there's no slavers. Whatever will we do?
That means demons. Stand ready.
Demons. Yeah, I feel like Fenris has a very post-to-play roleplay vibe.
It's the Final Fantasy hair. Oh, and the claws. Actually, let's be real. He could have gotten away with that hair if he did not also have a full set of goth rings on at all times.
So, I was trying to remember this. the last time that I was in this scene of like when are there other times that ogres get oh, okay,
We
yes.
must strip its defenses.
Click the rift.
Wear it down.
Are there other times that ogres show up?
The demon is vulnerable.
Ogres?
Isn't this like a darkspawn ogre?
No, that's a pride demon. You know that shirt I got you from the BioWare store last week?
Yeah?
With that wolf guy on it?
Yeah?
You notice how they have like the same eye configuration?
Hmm.
That's a design choice.
Please don't whip me.
Solus means pride.
Yeah. Ooh, hi, hello. Excuse me. I would like to hide behind this archer.
That archer is not gonna protect you.
It's true. I just want to click on the Fade Rift. Leave me be! I need to locate my tiny hand.
As a general strategy point, if you are playing a Solus romancing mage, you're gonna want to get really used to just standing next to Solus in combat at all times, because double your return on barriers.
Hi, Solus.
Yeah. The AI is pretty good at putting barriers on you, and if you stand together, that works better.
Hi, I'm soft, please. All I wish to do is disrupt the rift, except I have to find my tiny hand. Alright, do we have enough strength now? No.
You're pretty close now.
It's true. I mean, like, the damage output that I'm doing is, like, definitely not. Yay!
Seal the rift.
Okay.
Got there!
Do it.
Do it!
And it's so funny that, like, in Dragon Age 2, Fenris is like, I'm gonna murder all these people. And I'm like, okay, babe. Let me know when you're, like, ready to go. I'm just gonna be over here, like, stealing all this stuff from them, which is, like, also cool. And then in Dragon Age 3, Solus is like, I'm gonna murder these guys. And I'm like, I am not sure how I feel about that.
Okay.
Why is that?
Why? Well,
Like,
because...
they murdered his friend. They're no less guilty.
Yeah, but he's
than
like all of
people that...
humanity.
Okay, that wasn't actually what I was talking about, though. I was
Mm.
talking about the when you go to find his friend, right? And then he's like, I'm gonna kill these mages, and I'm like, I don't love that, actually.
I mean,
I'm
think...
like, it's not like from their perspective, they are fleshy meat bags. They are no less protected from Fenris than they are from Solus. Solus is technically a bigger threat to the world than Fenris, not necessarily by a lot. It kind of depends what decisions you made in Dragon Age 2 and whether your hawk survives the fade. Let's be honest.
I think also, too, the mages... I mean, like, while what they are doing is also a slavery, the, like, cultural conception of what they're doing is different, and your understanding of what they're doing is different than the people part. That would be my guess as to why you feel different.
And the danger is over.
I think it's a framing thing,
personally.
I'm certain Lady Cassandra would want to know you've wakened. She said
I don't know.
at once.
I think,
And where is she?
In the
yeah,
country with the Lord
it's
Chancellor.
like...
At once, she said.
Which is why I'm like yeah, like from their perspective, like they're just regular mortals. Like they're no safer from like if Fenris walked into that same scene and was like, I'm gonna murder you because you're like bad, like they'd be equally screwed.
Mm-hmm.
These are both people who are just like way too powerful to be taking that out on regular people. Not fair. That's not a fair fight. However, for some reason, when Fenris does that, it just does not feel quite so much like misuse of power. Like when Solus does that, you're like, wow, that's actually not how you're supposed to handle your power. And Fenris does it, and you're like, I mean, okay, I can like see how you got here. It's like, cool, I have trauma too. It's true. Solus is also just not as attractive. Gareth, oh my god, what's his name? Oh, David Gareth?
I feel
David
like
Gareth?
that is very
Anyway, the
close
point
to David
is-
Gator.
The voice actor for Solus is very good.
Mm.
He is very good. He is not Gideon Emery though.
So
And that has a lot of sway with me.
I did everything I could to close.
I feel like this guy,
It almost killed me.
bureaucrat man, can you imagine if they'd actually waited to electing a new divine, or however it is that they choose a divine, and everyone just exploded because of him?
Someone was behind the explosion.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's a conversation that I've had with Brad a lot of times about this game, where Brad's like, I don't know, the game's just like kind of, like there's a lot of choices that you just like can't make, and I like games that let me like, be a little more free. We have this, whole ongoing argument about whether or not the games that we like are equally good. It's not really an argument. We're terrible at arguing, but Brad will be like, I love like Fallout New Vegas because you can do literally anything. And I'm like, I get that in theory. I can't play Fallout New Vegas because you get shot at the start and I just can't cope with that. But like one of the reasons that there's a lot of choices you can't make in Dragon Age Inquisition, like you can't not join the Inquisition because every world state where you don't join the Inquisition is one where everyone dies.
Yeah.
Like that's it. There you go. That's the end of Thetis. It's over. You're like, yeah, sure. Let's wait for the Chantry to decide. That's it. That's where Thetis ends. It's like all of those are just choose your own adventure pages where the page is just like, and then everyone exploded. The end.
I'm also just thinking about this like right now. Why did Cassandra have this book at the ready?
I assume she just carries it around at all times because she's got to hide her copy of Swords and Shields in it.
He opens it up and it's just smut.
We have no leader, no numbers.
The Inquisition was founded
Yeah,
on a good
exactly.
cause.
It's like if you don't pursue, broadly speaking, building an Inquisition, you will just all die. And then you could play like a little particle physics game where you just float around in the fade as a couple of ash flakes. It's like, there you go, that's the game.
I would probably like that game. My child.
Yeah, but it would take like 10 minutes. It's just like there's not even any progression. You don't do anything. You just move around.
Okay, chill.
No chill.
Also, the pages of this book clip through each other when it closes, and it's
Oh my
really
god,
funny
it
to
bothers me so much every time. I've watched this scene literally over 100 times. Every single time I'm like, ah!
I love game development because they were probably just like, just ship it. We tried for hours to get this to work. It's fine.
This is what that talk was about. Crunch is about making you tired enough to say things are fine.
Yeah.
that's also a thing I learned from watching way too much Dragon Age related content. A lot of the things I know about video games in general and game development, I know because I spent so much time researching this series specifically that I ended up in the part of the world where you're like watching game devs talk about how they make things, because they might say something about how this character ended up in Antiva. And then you could make a footnote about that on the wiki, because no one else knows that the reason that they put that person there was because of this thing. And, you know, you might find a deep lore fact no one knew. It could be there.
Appreciate, but I am sure you are extremely stressed about the fact that Dragon Age plays it pretty fast and loose with their canon. They're just like, if you think that happened, it happened, sure. We did not say that. Lyrium Ghost did it.
They actually don't mostly play it all that fast and loose. They do adjust things, especially things from Origins, because there's a lot of stuff in Origins that wasn't really actually part of the vision of Dragon Age to start with. It was not part of there's a lot of stuff in Origins that is there because at that point in time, the publishing company, which was recently EA, was like, this game doesn't have enough gamer bro shit in it. It needs to have more grit and gamer bro appeal. Because that's the only market that exists for video games, and frankly, it doesn't feel anything like shooting terrorists. So I'm gonna need you to like
inject some of that in.
Yeah. Yeah. There's like a bunch of stuff, a bunch of creative decisions and Origins that are basically there because they were told to make it more like what other fantasy games, dark fantasy games were like, which is not really what they were trying to do in the first place, and it's certainly not what they're trying to do now. So there's a bunch of stuff from Origins that got dropped or rewritten because of that, because it wasn't really what they wanted in the start, and then they've now have enough like of a distinctive identity as a series that they are kind of allowed to be like, actually, no, everyone is gay, and this is mostly about politics and healing from trauma. That's like what we're into, actually, as a franchise. He is like, I don't really get it, but you keep making money, so okay.
You seem to be winning. Hello, Solus. I am going to turn up your audio so that I can laugh at you. Hey, Solus.
The chosen of Andraste. Blessed heroes sent to save us all.
How do I max my approval with Solus in this conversation?
Number 2.
Am I riding in on a shining steed?
I would have suggested a griffon, but sadly they're extinct. Joke as you will, posturing is necessary.
Not as extinct as you think.
I've journeyed deep into the fade in ancient ruins and battlefields to see.
I'm so excited. I want to see a griffin.
I've watched as hosts of spirits.
I hope we actually do get to see a griffin. That would be really cool.
Both famous and forgotten. Every great war has its heroes.
I'm slightly behind you, so just keep that in mind. I will tell you when I can what options you need, but it will take a sec. Okay, number 5.
Basically, if there's a question mark.
Yeah,
I'm clicking
almost
it.
always. There is one question in Inquisition that will earn you a disapproval, and it is the only time you catch him in a lie, and that's why he disapproves of it. But he doesn't tell you that, and you won't know it's a lie until you play Trespasser, and you're like, "Ah, you son of a bitch."
Yeah, he doesn't like it if you ask him about dances. Alright, we have that's impressive, that's valuable, and that's dangerous.
So I think you can do that's impressive or that's dangerous, but I always do that's impressive. Actually, I think you can do all three, but I always do that's impressive.
That's extraordinary.
Thank you. It's not a common field of study for obvious reasons. Not so
I'm
flashy as
so
throwing fire
mad
and
that
lightning.
I mean, I'm
Thrill of
not
finding
actually mad
remnants of
because
a
Solus is
1,000-year-old dream.
fine as a character,
I would
but
not
concept
trade it
art
for anything.
Solus is so good.
I will stay.
I will say they were
At
right.
least
It
till the
was
breach
way
is
too
complete.
obvious.
Yeah,
Was that in doubt?
Concept art
Three of the
Solus,
apostate
especially
natives
since they've
surrounded by
done it
countless
before, since
forces
it's
in the
already a
fight
thing they've done
I
in the
do not have
series
a
where they
divine
made the
mark
villain a
protecting
member of
us.
your party.
Cassandra has been accommodating.
You'd be like 10
She'll
minutes in this
understand,
game
of
and you're like,
course.
so he's the baddie, right? I'm getting that vibe. You want to pick number 4 because you are romancing him.
you can
You
trust
came here
me.
to help Solus. I won't let them use that against you.
How would you stop them?
However I had to.
Thank you.
Inquisition has so many good noses.
But now let us hope either the mages or the Templars have the power to seal the
Yeah.
breach.
It's like one of my favorite things about it.
Closing the breach is our primary goal. We must also discover what was used to create it.
Okay, alright.
Any artifact of such power is dangerous. The destruction of the Conclave proves that much.
You don't think whatever created the explosion was destroyed in the blast?
You survived.
Okay.
The artifact that created
Yeah,
the breach
question.
is unlike anything seen in this age. I will not believe it destroyed until I see the shattered fragments with my own eyes.
Alright. Sure, I agree with you.
We would do well to try to recover whatever created the breach.
Liliana's people have scoured the area near the blast.
He's like, give me my
Whatever the
orb.
artifact was, it is no longer there.
I lost
In
my
any
special
case, if you need
toy.
me for anything,
I don't feel like talking to you anymore. Goodbye, Solus.
Talk later.
goodbye.
Tell me about elves dialogue line is it's a fun roleplay experience TM. And by that I mean it's not. I find that conversation very uncomfortable.
With the potions. We have so many injured.
Is it a question that I can ask of him now?
Yeah, you can.
Look who's
Hmm.
back from the dead.
It's like one of the three. You got tell me about elves, tell me
I
more
don't
about the
recall reading
Fade,
it
and
I'd be surprised if you did. Particularly coherent.
tell me
Someone had to catch
about.
you up after you staggered out of
Tell me
making
about
us wear them.
Solus.
So, you're welcome.
He's like,
Oh yeah, maybe. That might be it actually.
I didn't realize. Thank you.
Tell me more about yourself, and he's just like,
I take naps in fields
Name's the Dark.
for thousands
I'm
of
in charge
years.
of keeping our little band here stocked with potions and elixirs. Not that Seeker Pentagast seems to care whether we've got the supplies to actually do that.
This is definitely not a lie that I'm
How
telling
about
you.
having potions made?
It's not really the truth, but it's not technically lying.
I can make that too.
Alright. Adon, I have to get things for you. Somebody sleeps here. I feel like we've had this conversation once before. Where do people in Skyhold sleep?
I mean, so I've definitely not created maps about this. No, definitely not. I've never plotted that one out. I've also never spent an extended period of time being extremely mad that there are no bathrooms.
Holding up all right. I mean, you
They
Castles
put
don't-
bathrooms in Origins, okay? They did a lot of other stuff with those buildings that did not make sense, but they had bathrooms. In Dragon Age 2, Meryl is the only person who gets a bathroom. Why? I don't know. How come Meryl gets a bathroom but no one else gets a bathroom? What's up with that?
She needs to wash the alluvion.
That's not
I'm just glad I'm still
what you use a
standing after
privy
all
for.
I can't believe you survived Cassandra. You're lucky
It's
you
the
were
only
out
thing
cold
I know
from
how to
stuff
use
developing
washings for
rage.
is shining my alluvian.
Staring at the breach, watching demons and maker knows what fall out of it. Bad for morale. and
Anyway,
development. I still
so
can't believe
in
anyone was
Skyhold,
in there and
there are several sections of building that clearly have windows and are clearly
I'd
building
like to think I'm as
Mhm.
full of
selfish and
rooms
irresponsible as the
that
next
are
guy.
not actually open.
Thousands
You
of
can't actually
people
go in them,
died on that
but they
tunnel.
have rooms in
I was
them.
almost one of them.
Once you
And now
get
there's a
past
hole
the
in the
initial
sky.
stage where there's just wood
Even
on the
I
floor
can't walk
everywhere,
away
they
and
have
just
lights
leave
on
that
in
to
them.
sort itself out.
You know, like they're definitely like part of the habitable building, but they're
This
just
is all
not
just the maker
a place
winding
that you
us
ever
up.
need to
I
go,
hope
so
there's a
they're
damn
just
good punchline
not,
coming.
there's
You might
nothing in
wanna
them
consider running
Mhm.
at the first
in terms of
opportunity.
like
I've
actual
written enough
physical
tragedies
game
to
infrastructure.
recognize where
Not
this is
physical,
going.
obviously, because it's a video
Heroes
game,
are
but you know,
everywhere.
they
I've
just
seen
like
that.
they didn't
But the hole in the
build
sky,
the insides of those parts of
that's
the
beyond
building because they
heroic.
didn't need them, which is
Yeah,
fair.
because you and your
Uh,
friends all get bedrooms, except for
Well,
some of them.
no, actually, in Skyhold, you and Sarah are the only people who have a bedroom.
Vivian has sort of a bedroom.
Vivian has a sitting room.
Eh.
I don't think she sleeps on
She
that
has a
balcony. I'm just
Murphy
saying.
bed.
She has a day bed. That is for lounging on while you talk crap about your ex-roommate.
Oh, Vivian. I wish they had given Vivian more of a character and not just someone being like,
So, okay,
Majors.
so here's the thing. She actually does have a lot of character. She kind of has the Sarah problem.
oop, everybody
Uh,
popping in.
Her,
Does it trouble you?
you gotta like her at least a certain amount
Mm.
to get to know her. And I'm just not that into
I
fascism,
wish I could get rid of it.
so I don't
We
usually.
have need of it yet.
So you've mentioned.
But I have
What's
done it,
important is
Mm.
that
and
the
I've
mark is
actually
now
softened
safe.
on Vivian as a
This is the
character,
breach.
like as a writing
You've
choice,
given us time,
quite a lot.
and Solas believes
I
the
still
second attempt might
would
succeed,
absolutely loathe her
provided
at
the
a party
mark has more power.
as
Oh,
a
yeah.
person.
The same
Not
level of
even a
power
little bit
used to
interested.
open the breach in the
Not
first
for me.
place.
But as
That
a
is
writing
not easy to come by.
decision, uh,
Clearly, you have something in mind.
We do.
she's stronger than I initially gave her credit for.
Yeah.
That's my Vivian line.
I feel like
Like, if you hear me say internalized racism, you know I'm talking about Sarah. It actually doesn't matter what the context is. That's who I'm talking about at all times.
I feel like
This
other
is Lady
characters get like
Josephine
more of a
Montenegro,
backstory, and
our
Vivian's is
ambassador
like
and chief
she was in Chantry mate,
You speak Elven.
circle
Well,
mage.
Just heard the entirety of
She's
it, I'm afraid.
I mean,
And of course, you know
she's
Sister Liliana.
she's an extremely
My position
accomplished
here
player
involves a
of
degree of-
politics.
It's
She
true.
is our spine.
Yes, tactfully put, Cassandra.
So, you know.
Why am I here?
Cassandra tells me you have a plan.
I mentioned that your mark needs more power to close the breach for good.
Which means we must approach the rebel mages for help.
And I still disagree. The Templars could serve just as well.
Nope.
We
No,
need
they cannot,
power,
Colin.
Commander. Enough magic poured into that mark.
They 100%
Might destroy us
cannot
all.
do better.
Templars could suppress the breach, weaken it, so...
Pure speculation.
Are you with
Yeah,
the Templar?
I think that's the
What they're capable
like
of?
Unfortunately, neither group
it's
will
one
use
it's
it.
one of the things about this
country has
game that I
been
actually have like the
developed
hardest time
and used
justifying
successfully.
is like really actually like I can understand why a
That didn't take
person
long.
might
Shouldn't they
choose
be
to
busy
recruit
arguing
the
over who's going to
Templars
become
instead of
Design?
recruiting the
Some are
mages.
calling you
Mm.
Like
daily
on a
life. The hand
wide
of
angle
the
shot. I can
That's
see
time
that
to
you're
change.
like, yeah,
The remaining
you
clerics have
know,
declared
like having a
mass
lot of mages would be
and
cool, but it's
the
also
inheritance
really
of a monk.
dangerous. You know, you bring too many mages
Chancellor
near the
Roderick
breach, they
still,
actually are
no
like
doubt.
really high risk of
It limits our options.
fade-related
Voting the mages
injuries, we're
or
gonna call it.
Templars for
Yeah,
him.
I was gonna
You
say
know,
exploding into
like-
demons.
Yeah, there's like, you know, and I can like definitely see an argument that like a person
They
who,
aren't more concerned about the breach? The
you
real
know,
threat?
like
They do know it's a
really
threat.
buys
They
into
just
that
don't
kind
think
of
we can
rhetoric,
stop
or
it.
like who
The
just like
Chantry is telling everyone you'll make a
has
choice.
personal hangouts
There
or
is
whatever,
something
like
you can do.
would, you know, would be like, yeah,
The name of Mother
I'm
Isabel
gonna
has
recruit the
asked to
Templars. Like,
speak
not
to you.
no mages. We have
She's
some
not
mages,
far.
but we're not
Mhm.
gonna
She
have like
does gold
hundreds.
far better than
We're gonna
I.
mostly
Her
get
sisters
these guys
do
with
battle.
swords because, I mean, they do have really big swords, and sometimes that's handy. And plate armor.
Why would
You
someone
can't go
from
wrong with a little
Chantry
plate armor when you're,
declare
you know,
heresy?
fighting a tree monster.
I understand she's a
Um,
reasonable
Yeah.
soul.
I mean, you
She's not a
absolutely
good
can go wrong with plate armor
You will
when
find
fighting a
Mother
tree
Isabel
monster.
tending to the
It
wounded
kind of
in the
depends what country you're
Hangouts
talking about.
directly.
Anyway, not gonna elaborate on that further. But
Do you
you're
have a
specifically
long
talking.
history of
Agents
fighting
could
tree
extend our
monsters?
reach beyond this valley, and you're better suited than anyone to recruit them.
No,
In the meantime,
but
let's think of other options.
I've
I won't
read a
leave
lot
this
of
all to the
fantasy books that involve
Mm.
plant magic. And
Don't-
sometimes when plant magic people get mad, other people turn into a fine mist.
Where am I going? Scout the
Uh,
Hangouts.
Yeah. Anyway, you're specifically trying to recruit people to help you close the giant magic hole in the sky, and that's the context for why you're picking someone to go and recruit. And in that context, it absolutely just does not make sense to choose the Templars.
Mhm.
That is not a problem you can solve with Templar abilities. It does not
Wait.
work like that.
Scout Harding doesn't
There-
have a shirt on underneath her chainmail?
Nope.
That's something I never knew.
To be fair, she does have to go to the desert. She also goes to the land of frozen waterfalls. And she does not put a sweater on for that, which I find suspicious. But I'm not really one to talk about not wearing winter appropriate clothing, so.
Rebel mages. I wonder how fast I can get through this game while still making all the choices that I want to make. I feel like
If you leave it on casual and you aren't worried about completion, and you are comfortable enough with the combat system, you could probably finish it about 50 hours.
whoa, really? I guess there is a really long or a bunch of content in this.
Everyone has. We know what you did
Yeah,
at the
I mean,
breach.
so my
It's hard for a
average
Danish
playthrough
elf
is
to
about
carry that against anyone
160
else, but
hours
You'll get no backtalk here. That's a promise.
to get to the end of Trespasser.
Inquisition Scout Harding
I
at
was
your
gonna
service.
say,
I,
we
all
would
of us
play
here,
all of
will
this
do
on
whatever we
stream,
can
but
to
that's
help.
way many hours. We would
It
not
is many
get
hours.
to dad in
I
that
can't
amount of
say I
time.
have. Why?
Yeah, I mean, like, if you were gonna try and play the whole game on stream, you probably want to do longer streams than 2 hours at a time.
Yeah.
Is probably what you do. Or in between
Pleasure to make your
streams,
acquaintance.
do some of like the
We should
grindy
get to
side quest stuff
business.
that you need to
The
do to get all the
situation
power
is
that you need or
pretty
whatever.
dire.
You can
We came to
speed it
secure
up more than
horses
that.
from
You
Red
can do
Crystal
stuff like
Horsemaster. I grew
just
up
fill a bunch of
here,
requisitions to
and
get the
people
rest of the
always
power
said
that you
that
need.
Dennett's herds were the
But
strongest and the
you will
fastest
start to
this
leave
side
a
of the
lot of
Frost
boxes
Axe.
unchecked if you
But
do
with the
that.
Mage Templar fighting getting
And
worse,
you start to
we
miss
couldn't
out on
get to
character
Dennet.
beats.
Mother
That's kind
Jane,
of the thing, is
Corporal
because
Vale
you
and
have
our men are
9
doing what we can to help
characters
protect the
in your
people, but
party,
they
plus
won't
you
be
have
able to
like
hold out very long.
like
You best get going.
your advisor
There's room to
council,
lose.
plus you have all the main plotline quests, plus, you know, there's like some side characters you probably want to do stuff with, you know, whatever. It's just like, even if all you do is all your companion quests and all the main
This
plot
way,
line,
Inquisition.
that's still probably gonna be
What is
like
it? This could help us.
40 hours of
Mm.
content. Like, it's a lot. There's a lot out there.
Jump, jump, jump. Did I just 100% go
Watch
the
your
wrong
step.
way?
I mean, that's not the
Mother
conventional
Giselle cannot be
approach.
Well, you know, I get to the path and... Oh, there's a lot of dead people.
Yeah, I mean, you're still gonna get there.
Inquisition forces. They're trying to protect the refugees.
Looks like they could use a hand.
Look at them. Pitiful.
Make it take you.
I need to level up Solus. That's not what I want. Wasn't there an auto upgrade for this? 2 points to spend. Why can't I spend you? What is happening?
Oh, I'm muted. Sorry. You can't level up in combat.
Oh,
So the big red text in the middle of the screen means.
Hold. We are not apostates.
I do not think they care, Seeker.
how long is it between the blowing up the Chantry and Inquisition?
3 years. 2.5 ish.
Cassandra, are you gonna do anything or?
The
We are not Templars.
Kirkwall
We mean you no
Rebellion,
harm.
she's stuck.
Doesn't look like they're
So
listening.
if you really want her to get unstuck like right now, you can just switch to her and just run forward or whatever.
I don't know how I
Or you
switch.
can do the overhead view option and tell her to attack somebody. There you go.
Be ready. More coming our way.
Kill that warrior!
Everyone just wail on this one Templar.
He was talking smack, so you know.
Want a piece of me?
I also feel like one of the tragedies of Dragon Age Inquisition is that you are in the hinterlands for so long, and I feel like that made a whole bunch of people upset.
I mean, you really don't have to be if you don't want to be. There's also a bunch of stuff in the hinterlands that you're not actually supposed to come back for until you're level 10, which is hypothetically after you've done the major Templar quest. And also been to the Storm Coast, and potentially the Forbidden Oasis, and potentially the swamp place.
Yeah, I want to enough blood for people. Hello. Everyone, I guess, like, actually, if the sky ripped open, I'd probably join a random group of people who were trying to close the sky. It's like, a lot of
Now,
people
also, at
joined.
this point in the game, a lot of the people who are in the Inquisition were already in the Inquisition.
Their magic is...
They were, like, Cassandra and Liliana were putting together the Inquisition before the breach happened as a backup plan. Right, so a lot of the people that you have right at the start were already in service to the Chantry
I am. And you must be
with
what they are calling
a
the herald of
predefined
adversity.
goal of finding a non-genocidal resolution to the Mage Templar War.
I'm told you asked
Yeah,
for me.
that's fair.
I would
More
pick
than
number
fair.
3, but you don't have to.
and I am familiar with those behind it.
Oh, I just auto
I won't lie to
selected.
Some of them are grandstanding, hoping to increase
Number
their
3
chances of
gives
becoming
you
the new divine. Some are
some
simply
divine
devils.
election points.
So many good people, senselessly taken from us.
Any of these, it was a tragedy. Don't you support the Chantry? And that's no excuse.
Totally up to you.
What happened was horrible.
Fear makes us desperate.
I
but
tend to
hopefully
play
not beyond
compassionate
reason.
characters because
Go
it's
to
just
them.
more fun for me.
Convince the remaining
I play
clerics
this
you are
game
no
because I
demon
want to
be
believe
feared.
that the world can in
We
fact
have
be
heard only
changed
frightful
and
tales about
improved.
you.
So
Give
it's
them
like this is
something
like my
else.
activism ice cream. You know, you've like had a terrible week and you're like, I'm just gonna eat this ice cream straight out of the tub. That's why I play Inquisition. Same
Yeah.
energy. Like
I
I
want-
can't anymore with the world's politics is hurting my
You
head.
want me to appeal to them?
I'm
If I
gonna
thought
save
you
the
were
elves.
incapable, I wouldn't suggest it.
Will they even listen?
I...
Let me put it this
You
way.
might know this. I
You
wonder
convince
if the
them.
voice actor for
You
Mother
just need
Giselle
some of
is
them to
French.
doubt. The power
Um,
is a unified voice. Take that
don't
for
know that
what
off
you
the top
receive
of
the
my
time
head,
you
but
It's good of you to do this.
I honestly don't know if you've been touched by fate or sent to help us, but I hope. Hope is what we need now. The people will listen to your rallying call as they will listen to no other. You could build the Inquisition into a
One thing
force
that I do
that
not
will
like about
deliver
having a
us.
cursor on screen is that I just
Or
feel like I'm like
destroy
touching
us.
everyone's face constantly.
I will go to Haven and provide Sister Liliana the names of those in the chant who will be amenable to
so the
identify.
voice actor for
It is
Mother
not
Giselle
much,
is named
but I
Sarah
will do
Powell.
whatever I can.
Sarah Powell was born in 1968 in Jamaica. She's an actress known for Last Christmas, Colby Blue, and Vanity Fair.
Cool.
So
Corporal Vale is coordinating the Inquisition's
broadly
efforts in the
speaking,
area.
yes.
We should speak with him.
Not French, but it is distinctly possible that French is either her first or primary language.
I might just auto level up everyone because I don't
I
care.
pretty much always auto level all of my companions. The only person I don't auto level is my Inquisitor. Because the game doesn't know what specialization I'm gonna pick, and it also doesn't know that I have a deep aversion to carrying electricity staffs. I don't know why. I just don't like using them.
I also just might have auto leveled myself accidentally, but
That's fine.
I literally don't think that I had any points, so.
You've seen otherwise?
Okay, we got to go over here, jump through a tree. Ooh, I'm getting hungry.
I was gonna suggest that maybe today should be a day that we order food, because we're both obviously busy right now, and should also eat food, you know,
It's true.
soonish. I don't know if that's like a thing it's okay to say on stream. Like,
Secret.
yeah. Secretly, we live in the same house. No one knows that though. It's a secret. Aww. Mona's the best.
I feel like I should pick up my Eek at some point because he clearly wants to be on stream, but okay. Goodbye.
Farewell.
And you as well.
Ike's like, I heard that, and okay. So, gameplay question. How? Okay, I'm gonna roll that back a little bit. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. what are the decisions and whatever that you want to have in this save file?
Mages. Romance Solace. That's kind of it. It's as far as I got mentally.
Okay, Iron Bull.
Mm.
It's a big one.
I mean, always save the chargers.
Yeah, I mean, it should actually be classified as a hate crime to allow crime to die. Just saying.
Yes.
Like, I'm pretty sure, like, charges should be filed. Iron Bull and Dorian, do you want that to be a thing?
Doesn't it happen kind of regardless of your input?
No. You have to take them both with you in the same party. You have to take them both with you in the same party enough times that a couple of the party banter lines in order to get that to go.
Eric, are you okay?
What
These people need food?
what do you have to do in the save file? I am not going to attempt to pronounce your screen name on stream because I think it would not go well.
Good luck.
Oh, right. Because I was talking about crime. That's what you're talking about. Right. Yes. Yeah. 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 To be fair, Iron Bull doesn't hate you. Iron Bull just doesn't think you're a person.
Yeah.
Which is somehow so much worse.
Alright.
Okay, so Iron Bull and Dorian, yes.
Yeah.
Putting yes for that. Okay.
You there? Can you help me?
What are some other things that I personally think will be relevant?
Can't catch her breath like Cobb. Our son Henry makes a potion that lets her breathe. He's the only one who can
I mean, there's all the other main game choices, but like, the choices are gonna happen regardless.
I mean, probably because if I'm doing this playthrough where I'm romancing Solos, that means that Cole is going to become a spirit.
Yeah. That makes sense. It doesn't have to, though. You can still romance Solus and also side with Varric in that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like it won't end your romance or whatever.
No, I just feel like if I'm romancing Solus, I should.
My canon Solus romance actually lets Cole become more human because my canon Solus Mancer is someone that canon Solus Mancer is someone that he considers to be like on his intellectual level. That's a really important part of her character, that like she has almost as much like complex magical understanding as he does, which is a lot, you know, and she's like real into having theory conversations, and she has strong opinions and like all this because she has to be like someone that he, you know, has that level of like intellectual respect for that relationship to be something that he's willing to get into. In my head, like I feel like for him to be willing to take those risks that he is taking by getting into that relationship, that it has to be someone that,
thanks for the warning,
like, really disrupts his sense of being an immortal. That like blurs that line for him between himself and, you know, these short-lived, faded, detached creatures that he is surrounded by, you know. And so that character makes, like, not all of the decisions she makes are necessarily the ones that get the most approval from him, but she always has a really complex and like well-rounded reason for making those decisions. Like the key there is that like if he's like, I don't approve of that decision, and she could be like, here are all my reasons why, and here's like some evidence that I have that like, you know, this is what's gonna happen if I make this choice, and he'll be like, okay, I still don't really agree with you, but I definitely understand where you're coming from and I respect that. And I feel like if you don't have that, then the relationship just doesn't really actually make sense to me.
Oop.
Or it's just abusive, depending on your personal read of Solus.
Yeah. I can see that. This
Like,
game is having a moment.
frames. How long
Video
ago
game
did you
has
save?
become a slideshow. Not recent enough.
I just mean like when you finish combat here, you might want to save because sometimes that clears that up for me. Sometimes when I save, it stops having so much trouble.
It must have been some time since the Renegade Templars faced a mage of any talent.
I hope you're saying that about me. I know you're not. What am I supposed to be doing? Riffs, closing riffs. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Ugh.
I feel like I was in the middle of talking about something that I had a really complicated opinion about, and now I forget what it is.
We were talking about romancing Solus. And what type of character romance Solus?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more about like what type of character I think Solus would actually want to romance, which for me is really important. Like I have a different like a completely different like person, different Inquisitor with a different like background and a different personality and like all this different stuff for like each of the romances.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, you know, like that's important. The exception, I will say, is that there's... well, no, I guess that's not really an exception. So the character that I wrote for Cullen initially flirts with Solus as well. And then Solus is like, I don't know about this. And she's like,
I know things are bad
okay,
there.
cool. This conversation got weird for me, so I'm actually just gonna back up now.
About its recovery.
And that guy over there has a fuzzy sweater, so, and I feel like he gives better hugs. Which, like, let's be honest, Cullen gives better hugs than Solus. Like, we just know that. That's just true.
No one needs to ask that as a question.
I mean, like, just look at them. Like a golden retriever guy versus that guy from your university who's gonna lecture you about whether or not you're grinding your coffee properly.
Ugh. I feel like it's like. Have you ever thought?
I love the phrenology head.
There's a phrenology
Sorry.
head? Oh yeah,
There's a phrenology head on that table.
Look at that. I feel like it has very... Solus is very, like... I definitely took Philosophy 101 vibes. You're like, it's cool for you that you think those things, but also... chill.
You're an ass, actually. Also, please stop explaining my own existence to me. It's kind of rude.
No, never stop explaining if you're Solus.
Yeah, I mean that's why like the character that I have who like actually like, you know, is still like does the whole romance with Solus is a very different character. She is she is intellectually aggressive. She is real into academia. She would have tenure.
Why are you playing like a slideshow? Is there a completely reasonable path in front of me? Yes. Am I still going to jump off literally every cliff? Also,
Oh.
yes.
Did I tell you about the character that I made that I min-maxed this character so hard that fall damage was a problem?
Why was it a problem?
So I was playing a mage and I put I stacked a bunch of different abilities that lower your health but give you like more barrier mostly.
Mm.
And then also that one slightly memey item that necklace in Inquisition that allows you to basically just never die. It's not actually what it does, but it gives you a 75% chance of healing to half health on death. It also gives you a once per minute block any blow that would kill you ability, and a once per minute block any ability that would kill you ability. Is that basically the same thing twice? Yes, but they do work slightly differently. Anyway, so you're just like, you're really hard to kill. And then also some stuff that gave this character like more damage and attack faster and a bunch of other stuff if you're below half health. So you just like constantly have like 10 health. And that's the ideal zone for that character. I was like level 20 and this character only had 3 little bars. Like in the health bars, you know, divided into segments. She was level 20 and she got 3. Cassandra's got 12.
You're saying that Templars attacked your husband?
There's like the same amount of health as a nug. So low. Anyway, yeah, so this character yeah, if you slide down a cliff, you can
fully just
really
die.
Well, you cannot die from fall damage in Inquisition.
Mm.
You can if you drop yourself enough times in a row, you can bring yourself down to literally 1 health. But you cannot die from fall damage in Inquisition. But you can make it real easy to die from falling. Like, it's real easy to bring yourself down to, like, no health. And if you only have 3 health bars to start with, you really actually only have to slide down about 3 meters of hill before you're like, ooh, I'm critical.
You said your friend hasn't reported back?
Isn't this person's friend dead either way?
What?
The scout.
I'll talk to you later.
What?
The worried scout that I'm talking to.
Oh, no, sorry. It's not that I don't understand what you said. I'm just alarmed. No. Her girlfriend is dead. But as long as you don't initiate her combat and then run away from it, she should be alive.
Hmm.
If you, like, walk up so the instant starts and then just leave her to fight the 3 Templars by herself, she will probably die.
Yeah.
So maybe don't do that. I mean, or do, if that's, you know, what you feel like you want to do. But personally, I don't do that.
Real. Hole in the ground, hole in the ground. I have found a hole in the ground. Not every dwarf
likes caves.
Nice. How many, power do you have?
I think I have 1.
If you just open the base menu. The like where you save and stuff.
Power
Like
2.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And I need 4 to do the next thing, I think.
Yeah. Sorry, I know all of the controls for the Xbox controller. That's what I'm used to. So.
Yeah.
Some of my help may not be in fact help.
You know, we're along for the ride.
In terms of streaming stuff in general, we could also just sort of like we could do some of the playtime not on stream and just sort of like, you know, if you get to like a big plot
quest
thing or something, you're like, well, we'll do this one on stream. You know, we'll start here next time that we do the stream.
I think that probably makes the most sense. Because, like, the next big quest is finding people, recruiting people.
So the next one, you're gonna go to Velrayo, you're gonna talk to the people, they're all gonna yell at you and tell you you're a bad person and maybe also a heretic. But you're not gonna listen to any of them because Sola says that you're fine.
Also, not really here for their entire religion at all.
That's valid. I was just, you know, in the character of a Soulless Mancer who does not have age lines underneath her eyes. Because there's, in my opinion, there's two Soulless romances. One of them is your like, you know, also a tired, irritated elf mage who basically doesn't trust anybody but is willing to play the game. And the other option is that you are a super sweet, naive baby. And it's just, you know, I think that the super sweet, naive baby option is objectively bad as a soulless romance, but it is also very believable. I do absolutely believe that it's happening. It reminds me though of that thing. There's a thing that Patrick Weeks said once that they were like, we intentionally left it extremely vague what degree of physical relationship you have with Solus because of the way that that romance ends. We want you to be able to decide for yourself, like because there are consent questions in that relationship.
Yeah.
Especially depending on some of the decisions you make mid-game. Right before your last two romance cutscenes, that you go to the nice temple and you drink the weird water, and then you come home and you go hang out in the woods with your boyfriend for a bit, and then he's real weird about it, and then he's like, we can't date anymore, and you're like, okay, this is really awkward because we still work together, but like, okay,
this is a workplace violation now.
I'm gonna do my best to like be cool about this, like, okay, I can do it, I can be fine, I'm fine, please don't stop looking at me, I'm fine. You know, and then you get to the end of the game, and he's like, so, I literally have the cheat code to your head. So, like, I can just turn you off like a robot. And you're like, this raises a lot of questions about that little forest visit. So that's why they really just like do not show anything, because they're like, if you wanted to have that, you can have that. You could absolutely look at that scene and be like, yeah, and then we, you know, banged on the forest floor, pretty cool. But you could also definitely watch that scene and be like, nope, nothing happened, that was it, there was just,
we chastely went home.
Yep, had a nap. And like both of those are equally like believable interpretations of what's happening in that scene. Like, anyway, that's why. It's because then you're gonna get to the end of the game and be like, oh wow, you were capable of mind controlling me.
By the end of Hardin Hightown, almost
Don't
every
love
character
that.
was a spy or a traitor. Wait,
Yeah.
In my book.
Yeah.
the Inquisition library. Everyone but Donnan turned out to be in disguise. Is that common?
Are we still talking about books, or are you asking if everyone?
Yeah, exactly. We have to talk to HR
Are there
now.
many traditions in dwarven literature?
HR is just Cassandra.
A handful, but they're the exception.
It's just
Mostly
Solus then
Cassandra's like, why is
immediately
this not Josephine's problem?
stuff. Human
being like,
literature.
why are there
We
only
are the
ever
tricky,
spies and
clever,
tricksters
really
in your
deceitful types.
books? It's like a
Curious.
Solus.
Not really. Dwarves write how they want things to be. Humans write to figure out how things are.
For a really long time, I didn't know that Fade Rifts had drops. And so
Oh.
I just like left a whole bunch of very cool things all over the world, I'm sure.
Yeah, all your rune crafting materials. They all come from Fade Rifts. That's like basically where you get them. That's why like most of the major rune types, there are a finite number that you can craft in the game, unless you use a Fade specific loot hack that people figured out because of the introduction of Veil Quartz in Jaws of Hakon. That if you take everything but one thing out of a Fade Rift drop, you leave one thing in there, and then you take your shit and go. And then you come back, it will have a full set of loot in it again. Which seems to be, as far as I remember, I've never actually done it, so I'm basing this on like wiki threads and stuff. It seems to be specific to the Fade Rift drops and not drops in general.
So they'll just like keep doing it?
Yeah. So, people figured that out because there's a crafting material in Jaws of Hakon called Veil Quartz, which is one of 3 tier 4 metal crafting materials in the game, which is like what you use, like it's your base for weapons. So they made originally it was just Dragonbone, and then with the DLCs, Dragonbone was tier 4, and the highest you could get other than that was tier 3. That was normally the max was tier 3, and then there's Dragonbone's just special because that, of course, it is.
Finite
But Dragonbone only makes fire type staffs.
Red lyrium and a would-be miner, I believe.
So you could have a higher fire type staff than any other type of staff. So they introduced Veil Quartz and oh god, what's the other one? Ice Dragon Bone. So obviously Ice Dragon Bone makes ice type staffs, and Veil Quartz makes lightning type stuffs. So that, because, equality and whatever. And Ice Dragon, I think you buy it from the Dwarven Merchant in the Descent, I think. And Veil Quartz you get from Veils in the Frostback Basin only. There's also a finite number of deposits of Veil Quartz, but they are extremely annoying to get. Like, I cannot emphasize, they are so annoying. I basically never bother with them. I'm like, it's fine.
Real. We are coming up on 2 hours. And also, I think
We
that my
are.
game needs to take a rest.
That's real.
Things never change.
You are also about to have, I'm pretty sure, you're about to have, or you already have, enough power that when you start next time, you can do the Valroyo, because nothing locks out when you go to Valroyo and talk to people, and then you can recruit the rest of your party members. That doesn't, like, no quests go away from that.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just go do that and unlock extra party members.
I think if I finish this quest, I might get a power.
I would hold off on finishing this specific quest right now. Do not return the ring right now.
Okay.
Just keep the ring. Actually, most of the Hinterlands quests, because the Hinterland, you get a lot of quests specifically to help poor people. That's like your thing that you're doing in the Hinterlands, right? You're helping refugees and poor people. So there's 2 companions that you can quickly lose a lot of approval from in the beginning of the game, but you can get a lot of approval, not a lot, but you can get a good chunk of approval from taking them with you to turn in a bunch of quests where you help random poor people.
Nice.
And those are Sarah and Iron Bolt. So in order to avoid awkward conversations early on in the game with those 2 who will get super mad at you for recruiting the mages, especially, otherwise, you leave like the one where you collect ram meat to feed the villagers, and the one where you find blankets to keep people warm because it's about to be winter here. The ring that you just found, the potion for the kid's mom, like that kind of stuff. You can pick them up, but do not deliver them. Do not return them. Turn them in, complete them, whatever, until you have. Also, for all of those, you get huge approval from Cole for all of them. But you obviously don't get that approval if you don't have Cole yet. So, I usually just do like 2 Fade Rifts and I claim a camp, and then I just immediately go to Oreo so that I can pick everybody else up.
I think I have
except Cole and Dorian.
one more Fade Rift. There's also Blackwall.
Setting up new camps earns you a power as well. Like most Fade Rifts are worth 1 power, and camps are worth 1 power. So
well, lucky me, I just found a camp.
There you go.
Okay.
Also, camps are helpful because it gives you more places on the map that you can start. Just nice. Saves time.
That this is probably a good place to stop then.
Because
now we have all of the PowerPoints that we need, and
exactly
all of the things.
And I do not need to connect my file drive history thingy. But thanks for asking again, Windows. I don't know how to make you stop asking that, so
Alright. I am going to end this stream. Thank you for joining us.
Okay.
This was Handai Hangouts. So, Handai Society is a not-for-profit based in Toronto, Canada. I'm very sleepy now, so have a good night. Bye.
Bye.